Hello learners, I am Dr. Nabi Hassan, heading the library system at IIT Delhi. So, in this lecture we will be discussing about human resource management in libraries. I shall be sharing my thoughts on not a very common topic in library science, that is human resource management in libraries. Throughout my career of 26 years of library services, most of the time I served as an administrator or supervisor apart from my professional responsibilities. Therefore, the focus of my lecture will be to touch the practical aspects of the human resource management or HR management as per my experience. So, my lecture has been divided into 5 components, that is background information, human resource planning, human resource management in libraries, human resource development and the conclusion on the basis of the content I am going to deliver in today's lecture. So, as part of background, uh, so what we know about the different terms of HRM or human resource management, let us try to understand those important terms. So, of all the resources available to any developmental process, human resources are the most vital and valuable ones that enable utilization of all the other resources effectively. Library is a combination of 3 components, that is documents, staff and users. The staff is referred to as manpower or human resource. So, manpower is the basic workforce within the organization. When this workforce is used for performing creative and potential tasks to obtain the basic objectives of the organization, then it is called human resource. So, to obtain and retain the human resource of a organization is called human resource management. Some large libraries may have specially trained personnel librarians or personnel officers who are sometimes called human resource managers or simply HR or HR managers. Human beings constitute the most important and valuable resource of an organization based on the belief that employee commitment to work in an organization is a fundamental prerequisite to organizational success. So, let us look into the historical perspective of HRM. So, we understand that George Elton Mayo is considered as the father of HRM. The drastic changes in technology, the growth of organizations, the rise of labor unions and professional associations, government concern and intervention in working class welfare, etc., resulted in the development of personnel department in organization. During the 1960s, the importance of planning and then integrating personnel strategies within a coherent framework was emphasized, which highlighted the need to earn employee commitment to deliberate management action. In the 1970s, work to improve the application of planning and a strategic framework for personnel management found expression in manpower planning. During the 1980s, further research was carried out to find new methods of managing human resources effectively. Now, let us discuss about human resource management. So, human resource management or HRM deals with the effective and efficient management of an organization's employees. All HRM functions must link to each other and to the organization's goals and strategies. Human resource planning is another important aspect. So, human resource planning aims to ensure that organizational objectives are achieved by getting the right quantity, quality and skills mix of employees at the right time. Recruitment programs are affected by internal and external factors such as economic conditions and the nature of the organization. Labor demand forecasting is an important part of human resource planning. Expressions such as personnel, human resource management, industrial relations, employee development, etc., are used by different writers to describe different units, departments or groups concerned with people in organization. So, a formal definition of HRM is that it is a function performed in organizations that facilitates the most effective use of employees to achieve organizational and individual goals. So, two key concepts underlie modern HRM are employees as human resources, human capital or organizational assets. Second one, human resource management as a long term integrative and accountable strategic process. Now, let us discuss about human resource management. So, activities HRM comprises of a number of activities that include equal employment opportunity programs, task analysis, human resource planning, employee recruitment, selection and orientation, career development and counseling, performance evaluation, training and development, compensation and benefits, safety and health, labor relations, discipline, control and evaluation of personnel function, work scheduling, quality of work, etc. So, now we will be discussing about human resource planning or HRP. What is HR planning? Human resource planning is the process that helps organizations to provide adequate human resources to achieve their current and future organizational objectives. Human resource planning is ideally a continuous process which aims to ensure that organizational objectives are achieved by obtaining the right quantity and quality of employees at the right time and at right cost with an appropriate skills mix. Human resource planning involves an analysis of the staffing impacts of industry or organizational growth, decline or diversification and consequent development of corresponding recruitment, re-skilling, outsourcing, redeployment or redundancy strategies. Ideally, human resource planning focuses on both the strategic long term and short term perspectives. Long term may cover up to 5 years and short term may be less than or around 1 year only, depending on the nature of the organization. So, nature and scope of HRP. What is the nature and scope of HR planning? So, HR planning includes present as well as future needs for employees of various types in an organization, comparing these needs with the current workforce and determining the numbers and types of employees to be recruited. While extracting the best of the employees, the organization also has a responsibility to protect the interest of employees in terms of their career prospects, adequate compensation for their work, providing the best work environment and developing a culture of interpersonal, intrapersonal, employee employer relationship and introduce quality consciousness among everyone to produce the best. Now, we will be discussing about analytical process in human resource planning. So, HR planning is basically an analytical process involving determination of desired goals, objectives and set targets of achievement within a time frame in a phased manner. All these with a vision of the organization's future growth and development. It is an assessment of the fixture in relation to environmental changes, technological advances and their influence on all aspects of development, and selection of activities, programs and projects to accomplish the set goals and targets from among alternative available, fixing priorities. An estimation of resources in terms of finance, equipment, machinery, manpower and others, and also analytics help in preparation of a written plan document, providing an action plan for execution. So, now we will be discussing about elements of HR planning. So, human resource planning has to reckon with a set of elements constituting the different parts of HRP. These are estimating manpower requirement quantitatively and qualitatively, recruitment and selection of personnel, induction and deployment, personnel development, performance appraisal of staff, that is training and development, changing perspectives and attitude, communication, overall assessment of performance and fine tuning. Now, let us discuss about benefits of HR planning. The benefits of HR planning include the provision of clear linkages between human resource function and organizational objectives, more focused sourcing of workers from both traditional and non-traditional labor market, cost effective recruitment and selection strategies, and systematic and responsive human resource policies and practices in all areas. Human resource management in libraries. So, now until now we have discussed about human resource management in general. Now, we will be discussing about human resource management in libraries. So, as you can see from this screen, the basic purpose of HRM in libraries is to add quality library professionals, creation of knowledge base, and of course, to contribute to organizational excellence. Until now we were discussing about HRM in general. Now, we will be discussing about human resource management in libraries. So, libraries and information centers as they are today in India are not for profit organization and are in the group known as service sectors. This is one of the biggest constraint that these information institutions are to cope up with many issues at present. The steps in personnel planning would constitute policy and staffing, that is selection, recruitment, training and development, and also appraisal, classification of library personnel like staff manual or outsourcing. Let us now discuss about the structure of library staff. These slides show the organizational and salary structures of the library staff in general in India. The large libraries are headed by the director library or chief librarian or senior library information officer. Each large library has units such as collection development or acquisition unit, electronic resources division, reader or user services division, technical services section, computer application section, maintenance and administration section, or which are generally these important section are generally headed by deputy librarian or a senior professional like assistant librarian or assistant librarian information officer or information scientist as well. Each unit is further divided into subsections like printed acquisitions, electronic resources, classification, cataloging, indexing, abstracting, news clipping, translation services, online searching, circulation, lending desk, reference service, binding section, research support service or outreach program, etc., depending upon the type of library. So, these sections are also headed by some professional staff. It may be a assistant librarian, it may be a professional assistant or semi professional assistant. So, the staff working under them are also include like some ministerial staff and also some multitasking or sometimes some class 4 staff as well. So, this staff structure varies from library to library, keeping in view the type of the library, size of the library, objectives of the parent organization, availability of funds and other related factors. Now, in general salary structure in many of the institution may be discussed. In general, the salary structure of the library staff is as shown in this slide, which categorizes different type of staff like from grade pay 2800 or pay level 5 to pay level 6 or grade pay 4200. There could be a staff with pay level 8 or grade pay 4800, those are known as like assistant library information officer, or Then there is a academic cadre of the librarian, that is starting from the assistant librarian or college librarian, maybe from academic pay level 10, and then you have a deputy librarian, or you can say a selection grade librarian. Then there are position of librarian, deputy librarian and librarian as well. So, the type of designation, the type of scales, these all depend upon institution. So, the figure in this slide shows as to how a selection takes place in India in general for library professional staff, and some of the factors which play a role in the selection include, like your background information should be very good, like from where you have taken the you have your education, where you have worked so far. References are also important. Then your professional abilities, or your practical or skill or other type of skills which may be tested through practical or skill test. And finally, there are some positions when where the interviews are conducted. So, your if your all the background information, your contribution, your vision is very clear, then it will help you in your selection in different type of positions. So, question asked during the test interview, if we would like to discuss, is like it depending upon the position, questions as elaborated in this slide are asked from the candidates in written test or interview. Like the questions may be regarding your academic and professional background, or your contribution to the previous organization and to the profession. Then innovative professional services and works that you have performed so far, and what is your vision for the interview or for the institution for which you are appearing. Your domain knowledge, aptitude, general English, mathematical skills, general intelligence, ICT knowledge, practical exposure, etc. in cases of subordinate non-interview positions are tested. Most important in any interview is to understand the mood and perception of the expert and respond and convince accordingly. So, there are various uses of job analysis. According to L.M. Prasad, in addition to recruitment, job analysis has many other uses, which are organizational design, acquisition of personnel, human resource development, job evaluation and compensation, performance appraisal, safety and health, employees counseling. So, what is the procedure for job evaluation? First of all, a detailed study of the requirement for a job, such as educational qualifications, skills, training, experience, intelligence, etc. is done. Thereafter, the physical and mental efforts necessary for the job and degree of responsibility to accomplish the same is identified. Further, a comparison of one job with another job is made, and the number of points to be given for each characteristic of a job are determined. Thus, the points for each job are added. In this way, the rank of the job is determined on the basis of its points. Finally, the expression of the value of the job in terms of money according to the points obtained is decided. In this way, job evaluation is done very conveniently. Now, let us discuss about the advantages of job evaluation. In fact, there are many advantages of job evaluation. The major advantages of job evaluation can be enumerated as you can see from this screen as well, like ranking of jobs becomes easy, management can control the labor cost because the wages are fixed based on nature of the job. Management can fix the same wages for similar jobs, thus equal wages for equal job principle can be applied easily. Adequate promotion policy can be adopted by the management. Improvement of morale among the employees is possible. Job evaluation basically helps the management in the selection, placement and training of employees. It helps to improve the relationship between the employer and the employees. Job evaluation basically minimizes the labor turnover. Management can prepare appropriate incentive schemes for the employees. Now, when there are advantages of something, there are disadvantages as well. We will discuss about the disadvantages of the job evaluation as well. As we know that everything comes with some disadvantages. So, there are some disadvantages of job evaluation as well. These disadvantages are: job evaluation studies the job, but not the individual doing the job. Uniformity of wages adversely affects the workers who are above average or who are more efficient. Job evaluation is just one of the factors for fixing the wages, just like other factors. It is very difficult to convert all the factors in terms of money for job evaluation. Points awarded for each characteristic of a job are purely subjective, they are not objective. It ignores the labor market condition, which are also responsible for the fixation of wages. Otherwise, the employees may suspect the intention of the management if the job evaluation is not understood properly by the employees. Now, we will also discuss about the library committee, because library committee or its chairperson also play an important role in HR management in some of the institution. Let us first discuss the need of a library advisory committee. All type of libraries has library committee which looks after the problems of the concerned libraries. The library committee is also known as library advisory committee, library management committee, etc. It is an executive type of committee which play a crucial role in the HR management as well. The library advisory committee or LAC of any institution comprises of faculty members from all the academic or research units, including student representatives, and serves as a liaison between library and users for fulfilling their academic and research requirement. Any requirement of the library when put forward through library committee carries more weightage. The committee can assess the financial needs of the library as per the national library standards. Consequently, the librarian and other library staff may be recruited as per the norms if recommended by the library advisory committee and accepted by the competent authority. The committee, having a strong public voice, can easily convince the authorities and the public about the policies and needs of the library. LAC advises the library and the librarian on all crucial library matters. Okay. So, now we will be discussing about human resource development. Okay. So, human resource development or HRD is the process of helping employees in an organization to acquire competencies. This help is given to employees in a planned and continuous way to acquire and sharpen capabilities required to perform various tasks associated with their recent and expected future roles, develop their general capabilities, and discover and exploit their inner potential for their own and or organizational development purposes. Develop an organizational culture in which supervisor subordinate relationships and teamwork contribute to the professional well-being and pride of employees, facilitates upskilling and improves abilities by the introduction of mechanisms such as training, performance, appraisal, organizational development, feedback, counseling, career development, potential development, job rotation, incentives, awards and rewards. Now, let us discuss the need and purpose of HRD. So, need and purpose of HRD is necessary for any type of organization for survival and stability, growth and development, change and diversification, retuning activities to become more effective, providing the highest quality in products and services, playing a leadership role in the field, and obtain goodwill and reputation through customer satisfaction. HRD is very important in Indian scenario as well, like for personnel planning, orientation, introduction to library information center goals, objectives, targets and activities. Productivity, customer satisfaction, it is also important for quality of products and services, acquisition of new knowledge and skills, for task analysis, for proper deployment of personnel, and for performance reviews and appraisals, for motivational aspects like developmental supervision, counseling and monitoring. As you can see from this screen that the transition from custodian role to information analyst role, then to knowledge worker role, you can see that the transformation is taking place. If you are not able to transform from a traditional librarian to a ICT enabled librarian, then you will be somehow lagging behind. So, the change in the library resources, services, products, and also the change as how the user is approaching the information has brought a lot of transition from the custodian role to the role of a knowledge worker. So, due to enormous penetration of technology, many professions are going through a sea change. Library profession is not an exception to this. Currently, it is estimated that this profession, this library profession carries about 80% technology component and about 20% traditional librarianship. With this, I would like to sum up that there are hardly specialized officers for HRD in any library and information center in India. Human resources aspects are handled by and large by parent organizations to which the library and information center is attached. The library administrative departments deal with personnel mostly in relation to salary and allowances, discipline and control, training and deputation to conferences, performance appraisal in a limited way, and a few others. So, with the growing and changing patterns of information, formulation of policies exclusively for libraries and information centers relevant to the new conditions seems to be a necessity. Besides various compulsions like ICT applications, fund crunch, volume and variety of information, increasing demand for information and emphasis on quality, etc., are driving libraries and information centers to restructure their management strategies for human resource planning and development. The steps involved in human resource planning and development in the libraries and information centers may include establishing result oriented recruitment procedure, giving orientation to the newly recruited staff properly, enhancing the staff skills through appropriate in service training, evaluating the results after regular intervals, estimating the requirements of human resources for the libraries and information centers for the present as well as the future. Believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, as you can see in this screen, so if you believe in yourself, if you are confident, I think you can take your libraries and HR things to next level. So, with this I would like to acknowledge all those resources which I used in my presentation, and I hope you would enjoy this presentation. Thank you very much and happy learning.